Hey folks, Dale Davidson, Davidson Law Offices here. Going to do something a little bit different today. Going to talk about what is going to affect 70% of us out there. So look left, look right. Guess what? They're going to be affected, not you. I'm joking. Look, we're all going to be affected by this, and that is long-term care. So how do you pay? The question is today, what are your options for paying for long-term care? And we're basically talking about nursing home. So let me first distinguish between Medicare and Medicaid. Now, Medicare is for a limited amount of time. It's federal insurance. It pays for skilled nursing care, which would include medical care and physical and occupational therapy and other services. Okay, so skilled nursing care is not a form of long-term care. Okay, it's not long-term care. Medicaid is long-term care. For skilled nursing care for Medicare, that's not your permanent resident. Okay, this provides complex care and rehab for people who have had, maybe you've had a stroke, surgery, some kind of extensive medical treatment, hip replacement, knee replacement, those kinds of things, heart attack, all of those things are covered by Medicare and your rehab at the skilled nursing home. So Medicare, again, is a federal health insurance, okay? It's not meant to cover you for your long-term care or long-term stays in a nursing facility. And we're talking about long-term over 100 days, okay? So keep that 100 days in your head, okay? So under Medicare, you recover from your condition or your rehab and you go home. So generally, Medicare pays 100% of your skilled nursing care for your first 20 days. Thereafter, you'll pay a co-insurance of about 20% of your skilled nursing care. So the first 20 days, 100%. Thereafter, you're going to pay 20%. Medicare is going to pay the other 80%. So the question then becomes, what happens when you stop being a short-term patient and become a long-term patient? Medicare stops paying. Reasonable, okay? So they stop paying for your skilled nursing care. So you short-term, now you're long-term, and that's where we come in with that 100 days. So again, what is long-term? Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's disease, and when you no longer qualify for physical or occupational therapy. A lot of times I see my clients and their family members in the skilled nursing facility, and they're taking physical therapy, but then they just give up. When they give up, they no longer are a short-term patient, they become a long-term patient. So when you stop your physical therapy, it no longer being paid for by Medicare, then we say, okay, who's going to pay your long-term care? And we're either talking about your money, you've got some long-term care insurance, or Medicaid. But before we get into that, what happens if you go through all your rehab, you're discharged home, but you need some continuing care? Is Medicare still going to pay for your continuing care? So in this case, yes, Medicare would pay for your continuing care. You would still pay for that 20% co-insurance amount, okay? So again, long-term care, you pay 100% of. Short-term care, you'd only pay a percentage of. So what happens when Medicare stops paying the skilled nursing? Okay, again, you pay from your income or your assets. So if you have long-term care insurance, which nowadays is probably cost prohibitive. I mean, you're talking premiums of $400 to $500 a month or more, and they're only going to provide a limited benefit. And then we look at your assets, your income, and have to spend those down, or we look at Medicaid. Again, short-term care, Medicare, long-term care, Medicaid. So Again, what happens if you don't need skilled nursing, but you still need help? You're at home, okay? Then we look at referral services. So the discharge planner from the hospital or the discharge planner from the skilled nursing facility would have a discharge process in which they would look at providing home care through different businesses around town. So whether it be for rehab, the rehab people could come to your house, or some kind of home health could come in. But those can be paid by Medicare, but there are rules as to be able to receive that. Okay. Again, it's got to be medically necessary, and it's got to be part of your discharge plan. So there's no limit on how much Medicare pays for your medically necessary outpatient therapy services, such as occupational therapy or physical therapy, in a calendar year. So after you pay your deductible, again, that's that 20% Medicare deductible, then you'll be able to receive those services. The amount you pay depends on a variety of factors, such as whether or not you have other insurance. Maybe you have a supplemental insurance, which I highly recommend that you look into, and there are lots of different insurance folks out there that could help you with that, or you can Google that and they can help you. Now, what do these services include? Nursing assistant to help you attend to your hygiene needs, maybe taking a bath at least twice a week, okay? There's occupational therapy. They'll cover occupational therapy either in the facility or at your home. Physical therapy, again, they'll cover it at the skilled nursing facility or at your home. Medicare will pay for a nurse to come help you administer medications. And Medicare will also pay for a social worker if you don't have any relatives or anybody who can help with coordinating your care. So the social worker fills that role. But all of this is done through the discharge planner at the hospital or through that skilled nursing facility. Now, there are specific requirements that you must meet to be eligible to be covered for Medicare skilled nursing care, okay? Now, number one, your doctor's got to determine that you need that care, that type of care, skilled nursing care. Let's say that you had a hospital stay of at least 3 days, and you need skilled nursing care afterwards related to your hospital care, or your hospital stay, for rehab purposes. Again, now we're back to that 100 days of Medicare pays the first 20 days, and then it's a split between 80 Medicare, 20% you after 20 days. Again, that's for a short-term care program in which you're going to be coming home or going back home after this rehab. Remember at the beginning of this video I said turn left and turn right? I mean, kind of jokingly. And statistically, these two folks right next to you would need some kind of long-term care during their lifetime, but not you, but not me. Okay, now, but seriously, folks, statistics say that 70% of us will need some kind of long-term care during our lifetime, and that this care will last for 5 or more years. So the time to plan is now. I mean, heck, we spend more time planning for our vacations than we do our long-term care. We spend more time planning for our retirement than our long-term care. I met with a lady yesterday, we are retiring and outliving our retirement resources because we haven't we haven't properly planned for our long-term care. So again, how do you pay for your long-term care? Raise your hand if you think it's Medicare. Nope, wrong answer. It's not Medicare. Now, point your index finger at me and point at the camera. You think it's me? Nope. See these fingers here pointing back at me? I'm paying for my long-term care. All right? I have to pay for it either through long-term care insurance or I have to pay through my assets, Well, what happens if I don't have assets and I need long-term care? I'm going to be paying about $8,300 a month on average here in Southwest Georgia. Now, I've got a wife and a house. How am I going to pay $8,300 per month for my long-term care and make sure that my spouse is taken care of? Okay, it's almost impossible, but it can be done. It can be done. All you got to do is drop us a line and we can help you. So, Medicaid has very, very strict income and asset limits. So, the current income limit is $2,523 per month. So if my Social Security is $2,600 per month, I don't qualify. Fear not, folks. We can help you get qualified even if your income is over the limit. My assets are more than $2,000. I've got a house. Well, the house is exempt, okay. But wait a minute. I've got a house and it's exempt. Who's going to pay the taxes, insurance, upkeep, and maintenance if I'm in a nursing home? My wife? My spouse? Well, that's going to make him or her, pay money that they don't necessarily have because all my money and assets are going to the nursing home. Again, don't worry about that. We do this every day to help people plan those things out. So we can help make sure that your spouse is not left destitute, because you're going to be taken care of in the skilled nursing. We just need to make sure that your spouse is taken care of too. What about my IRA or 401k? The skilled nursing center said I had to spend that down. Actually had that happen up in Adel, baby, from a nursing home who had a client spend down their IRA or 401k to below $2,000 so the mother could qualify for skilled nursing. Guess what? Here in Georgia, the IRA and 401k is an exempt asset. The money coming off of that, the income, the required minimum distributions that were coming off of that are counted towards income limits, but the asset is not counted. So again, a lot of misinformation out there as to what's exempt, what's not exempt. If you have any questions, just drop us a line. So they're exempt assets and they're non-exempt assets. And if you have a spouse, there are ways we can protect and preserve your assets for the benefit of your spouse. Okay? You don't need to be in a nursing home. So does Medicaid pay for independent living and memory care and assisted living? No. Okay, you may live independently in your own apartment in a retirement community, and the community you live in offers wellness and recreation and programs and transportation and all that, but you still have to privately pay. And you're talking independent living, $3,500 per month. Well, what about memory care? Memory care involves a long-term facility such as an assisted living facility with a wing on it that's is locked down basically. So this is for folks who have Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, those kinds of things. Staff members are trained to work with people with dementia and Alzheimer's and all that, okay? And they also provide round-the-clock care, medication management, things of that nature. Why doesn't Medicaid pay for that? Well, not here in the state of Georgia. You still must privately pay to live in a memory care unit here in Georgia. Medicaid does not pay for memory care in any facility that is not skilled nursing care. They call it institutionalized nursing home care. You may live in your own room in a suite in a retirement community. Again, meals, laundry, and all of that is taken care of. But, again, you have to pay for that. You still have to privately pay to live in an assisted living facility. Medicaid does not pay. So, long-term care, how are you going to pay for it? Medicare pays for short-term. Medicaid would pay for long-term. But before you get to Medicaid, we got to look. Do you have long-term care insurance? No? Then we look to your assets to pay for that. But then what about your spouse? How can we protect your spouse? Okay? That's what we do here. So, you have any questions regarding this, please leave a comment below. We've got a new email because of this. It's a different topic. It's called Dear Nursing Home Guy at gmail.com. Dear Nursing Home Guy at gmail.com. Ask a question about your long-term care. Again, like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that when we have additional videos coming out, which we do each month, then you'll be notified. We hope we've given you some good information here. So until next time, be blessed.
No more whiskey, I'll have a Coke. Catching bass on an old fishing boat. One more star.